Imagine a world teetering on the brink of a conflict so massive it could ignite the Third World War. A conflict so vast it would touch every corner of the globe, with repercussions echoing through generations. This is not the plot of a Hollywood blockbuster, but a potential reality we find ourselves facing. As tensions rise, the specter of World War III looms large over us. The implications of such a conflict are staggering. It's not just about the unimaginable loss of life and the destruction of cities, but the destabilization of the global political order and economic infrastructure. Picture a world where the global economy grinds to a halt. International trade routes are disrupted, leading to severe shortages of goods and skyrocketing prices. The world markets plunge into chaos, causing a financial meltdown that would make the Great Depression look like a minor blip. In the political arena, alliances would shift and shatter, reshaping the world map. The balance of power could tilt unpredictably, leading to a new world order that might be unrecognizable. On the humanitarian front, the cost would be unthinkable. Millions, if not billions of lives would be affected. Families torn apart, homes destroyed, entire communities displaced. The scars of such a war would be etched into the human psyche, forever altering our view of the world and each other. The factors leading us to this precipice are complex and intertwined. Political tensions, territorial disputes, economic inequalities, and ideological differences all contribute to a volatile global landscape. One of the key players in this high-stakes game of international chess is none other than Russia's president, Vladimir Putin. Fresh from a landslide victory in the presidential election, Putin makes a chilling warning. As the dust settled on the political battlefield, Russian President Vladimir Putin emerged victorious. His triumph was not merely marginal, it was a landslide, a testament to his enduring political prowess and a symbol of Russia's resilience against any form of intimidation. This victory, however, was not without its dramatic undertones. Amid the congratulatory applause and fanfare, Putin made a statement that sent shivers down the spine of the global community. He raised the specter of World War III, a chilling prospect that seemed to hang heavy in the air as he delivered his victory speech. The context of this ominous warning was clear. Putin was responding to French President Macron's statements concerning Ukraine, a nerve center of geopolitical tension between Russia and NATO. The Russian president was unequivocal in his stance. Any NATO involvement in Ukraine could potentially ignite a spark that may lead to a full-blown global conflict. His words served as a stern reminder of the volatile nature of international politics and the precarious balance that keeps the world from plunging into another devastating war. But even as the world held its breath over Putin's warning, the Russian leader also took a moment to address a more personal issue. In a surprising departure from his usual political rhetoric, Putin acknowledged the death of opposition leader Alexei Navalny. He expressed his sadness over Navalny's demise, a sentiment that seemed to humanize the steely leader in a moment of unexpected vulnerability. And yet, amidst the political tensions, Putin also finds a moment to acknowledge a personal tragedy. This acknowledgement, however, did little to distract from the gravity of his earlier warning, a cautionary note that suggests a turbulent future in the world of politics. In a surprising turn of events, Putin acknowledges the death of opposition leader Alexei Navalny. This acknowledgement signifies an unexpected shift in the political landscape of Russia, where opposition voices are often ignored or suppressed. Putin's response to Navalny's death, referring to it as sad, indicates a recognition of the opposition leader's influence and political relevance. Navalny's demise has left an indelible mark on the Russian political arena. His relentless pursuit of transparency and accountability in governance made him a beacon of hope for many. In a poignant tribute to his memory, some voters chose to honor him at the polls, casting their votes as a symbol of their enduring belief in his ideals. Yet, the ripple effect of Navalny's death on the political landscape has yet to be fully realized. His absence leaves a void in the opposition, creating an opportunity for new voices to emerge and challenge the status quo. Despite the opposition's efforts, Putin's victory secures his position and potentially his legacy. What does Putin's stance mean for the world? Let's delve deeper into his political philosophy. Vladimir Putin's political philosophy is intrinsically linked to his view of Russia's place in the world. He sees Russia as a global player, a nation that should be respected and considered in international dynamics. This perspective is notably reflected in his stance on NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Putin views NATO as a significant threat to Russia's sovereignty. This is not surprising, considering the organization's original purpose was to counterbalance Soviet power. Putin's apprehensions about NATO are further intensified by the organization's eastward expansion, bringing it closer and closer to Russia's borders. The prospect of Ukraine, a country that shares a long and complex history with Russia, joining NATO is a particular bone of contention. This brings us to Putin's attitude towards Ukraine. His stance is underpinned by the belief that Ukraine and Russia share deep cultural, historical, and political ties. Consequently, he views any move by Ukraine to align more closely with the West, particularly through NATO membership, as a direct threat to these ties and, by extension, to Russia's security. So, what does this mean for the world? Well, Putin's policies could potentially escalate tensions between Russia and the West. If these tensions aren't managed carefully, they could trigger a ripple effect, impacting global political dynamics. The situation becomes even more complex when we consider the potential for other countries to be drawn into the dispute, either directly or indirectly. However, it's important to bear in mind that politics is a realm of possibilities, not certainties. While Putin's stance could potentially lead to increased tensions, it could also prompt a reassessment of NATO's role and the need for constructive dialogue between Russia and the West. Putin's stance, as controversial as it may be, could shape the course of global politics in the coming years. With Putin's reign possibly extending beyond even Catherine the Great's rule, the world watches with bated breath. As we look to the future, the potential scenarios under Putin's extended rule are as varied as they are profound. On one hand, we could see a period of peaceful coexistence. Here, Russia, under Putin's helm, could decide to engage in diplomatic dialogues and negotiations, fostering relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. This would involve a careful balancing of power and interests, a dance on the global stage that Russia is no stranger to. On the other hand, the world could witness escalating conflicts. Putin's warning of a possible Third World War should NATO enter Ukraine is a stark reminder of the tensions that exist. The specter of conflict looms large, a chilling echo of a past we'd all rather leave behind. In this scenario, Putin's leadership would be marked by an assertive, if not aggressive stance, potentially destabilizing the delicate balance of power that currently exists. Yet, between these extremes lies a myriad of other possibilities. Putin could choose to focus internally, strengthening Russia's economy and social infrastructure. Alternatively, Russia could seek to expand its sphere of influence, aligning with other global powers to challenge the status quo. The uncertainty is palpable. The world is in a state of flux, and the decisions made by Putin in the coming years will undoubtedly shape the course of global politics. As we find ourselves on the precipice of change, the question remains, will Putin choose the path of peace, or will he steer the world towards conflict? It's a high-stakes game of chess with nations as pawns and leaders as kings and queens. Putin, with his newly reasserted power, is in a prime position to make his move. Only time will tell what that move will be. As we navigate these uncertain times, one thing is clear: the world is watching, waiting to see what move Putin will make next.